You know that feeling when you're staring at a chaotic spreadsheet of customer inquiries or like a messy shared document where your team is just trying to plan content?
Oh, yeah. The absolute worst.
Right. And you think, we desperately need a custom app for this. Well, today's deep dive is about making that a reality before lunchtime.
Yes. Literally before lunch.
We are looking at a comprehensive guide titled Building Custom Business Tools with Google AI Studio. And our mission today is to explore how you can take those, those we should build this someday ideas and test a working version of them right now.
Exactly. And doing it without needing a massive development budget or like a full tech team.
Okay, let's unpack this because to really grasp how this changes things for you, we have to establish the core difference between the conversational AI interfaces we use every day and an actual builder environment.
Right, because that distinction is everything. I mean, interacting with AI as a conversational partner or like typing a question to a chat window and getting an answer back that's incredibly useful for brainstorming or ad hoc tasks.
Yeah.
But it is fundamentally an isolated event. You're solving a micro problem in that moment, but you are not permanently fixing a broken operational workflow in your business.
Yeah, you're asking for directions, but you aren't building a road.
That's a great way to put it. Google AI Studio and the underlying Gemini intelligence it runs on represents a completely different approach.
So if Gemini is the family of AI models, like the actual cognitive engine handling text generation, complex reasoning, image understanding, and structured outputs, then Google AI Studio is kind of the factory floor where you actually build the car around that engine.
Exactly.
It is explicitly a developer and builder environment.
What's fascinating here is the massive shift from using AI purely for content creation, like drafting an email,
Yeah.
to using AI for operational workflows.
Right.
The true value of AI Studio isn't generating text on demand. It's embedding that Gemini intelligence into a repeatable business process. You are taking the reasoning capabilities of the AI and wrapping it inside a custom interface.
An interface that solves a specific repetitive problem for your team or your customers.
Yeah, exactly. You're building the system itself.
Which is amazing, but
Yeah.
that brings us to the obvious hurdle. How are you, a business owner or a strategist without a computer science degree, supposed to build this software on that factory floor?
Right. It sounds intimidating.
The source material introduces a concept that addresses this, referring to it as vibe coding.
Yeah, vibe coding. It's a casual term gaining a lot of traction, but it describes a very profound shift in how we interact with computers.
Wait, vibe coding? I mean, that sounds a bit like a Silicon Valley buzzword.
It really does.
Is this just a toy for making static visual mockups, or is it actually generating real, usable software logic under the hood?
It is entirely fair to be skeptical of the terminology, I promise. But the mechanics behind it are actually highly functional. Vibe coding is basically shorthand for building software through natural language prompts instead of, manually typing out lines of syntax. Under the hood, you are using the AI as a compiler. You describe the workflow, and AI Studio parses that natural language to simultaneously generate the front-end UI code, like HTML or React components, while wiring up the back-end API requests to itself.
Oh, wow. So the prompt acts as a product specification document.
Exactly.
Instead of opening a code editor, you open AI Studio and outline the logic. Like you might type, build a lead qualifier for a marketing agency. Create an interface that asks visitors what type of business they run, what service they need, and their monthly budget.
Right. Just plain English.
And then process those answers, give them a lead score from 1 to 10, and display a recommendation on whether they should book a call.
And from that plain English paragraph, AI Studio generates the structure. It renders a live preview of the app right there in your browser.
Wait, really? A live preview?
Yeah. You aren't just looking at a picture of an app. You can actually interact with it. The AI has predicted the structured data required to render the form, and it's configured the logic so that when a user clicks Submit, the inputs are sent back through Gemini's reasoning engine to generate that specific lead score.
That's wild. What if you want to change it?
Well, if the layout is clunky, or if you realize you forgot a crucial variable, you just keep prompting. You tell it to add a drop-down menu for their biggest marketing challenge, and it just rewrites the underlying code to accommodate that new logic.
That completely removes the initial financial risk of development. I mean, you don't have to spend $10,000 and wait 3 months to see if a custom lead qualifier makes sense for your workflow.
Exactly. You outline the logic, generate the prototype, test it internally, and decide if the concept is sound.
But surely there are hard limits to what a natural language compiler can reliably produce, right?
Oh, absolutely.
Yeah.
We need to draw very clear boundaries here. Building with natural language is a superpower for prototyping, creating internal team tools, and testing early versions of straightforward applications.
Okay.
But it absolutely does not replace an experienced software engineering team when you are dealing with complex system architecture. AI-generated code still requires human review.
Right, that makes sense.
Yeah, it lacks inherent understanding of your company's broader security posture, long-term database maintenance plans, or edge case handling. Think of it as the ultimate functioning sketchpad to prove a concept works.
Which saves you a fortune in strategic risk before you commit to a major build.
Precisely.
So let's map this onto an actual customer journey. The guide outlines 4 highly practical prototypes you can build right now, and if we string them together, they represent a complete business life cycle.
It's good.
Let's start at the very top of the funnel. The first bottleneck a business usually hits is planning the campaign itself. The guide suggests building a campaign planner.
Right, because planning a campaign from a blank document is notoriously inefficient. A custom campaign planner standardizes that initial architecture.
How does it work?
You build a tool where the user inputs a single goal, say, launching a new B2B software feature. The tool is programmed to take that single input and generate the overarching strategic theme, identify 3 specific audience segments, map out the required email sequence topics, and define the necessary sections for the landing page.
Oh, so it forces a cohesive structure before a single piece of copy is even written.
It's a
And once that campaign is planned, you hit the next wall executing the content. The guide's second prototype is a content idea generator.
which is such a time saver.
Yeah, you feed the tool the parameters. Your campaign planner just gave you the target audience, the main offer, and the customer's pain points. And it instantly generates a structured list of blog topics, LinkedIn posts, or ad angles tailored specifically to that initiative.
Right.
Now, here's where it gets really interesting. If I'm a small business owner, couldn't I just type those exact same variables into a standard ChatGPT window? Like, why go through the trouble of building a dedicated content idea generator app inside AI Studio?
It comes down to standardization and scalability. Yes, you personally might know how to write a massive, highly detailed prompt that gives the AI the exact context of your brand voice, the negative constraints of what not to say, and the required output format.
Right, because I know my business.
Exactly.
Mm.
But your newest marketing hire probably doesn't. If they use a generic chat window, they will likely just type, "Write 5 LinkedIn posts about our new software."
And they will get generic, unusable outputs.
Bingo.
That introduces a massive scaling issue. You're relying on the prompt engineering skills of every individual employee rather than the system itself.
That's it, exactly.
Yeah.
By building a dedicated tool in AI Studio, you bake your brand's underlying prompt logic directly into the software. The user interface only asks the employee for the variable's audience, offer, pain point.
So they don't have to overthink it.
Right. Behind the scenes, the tool wraps those variables in your proprietary, pre-written instructions. It guarantees a high-quality, consistent output no matter who is operating the tool. You are giving your team a system that functions perfectly every time, rather than hoping they know how to ask the right questions.
That leads right into the third bottleneck. The content worked, traffic is hitting the site, but now you have too many unqualified inquiries clogging up your team's calendar.
A good problem to have, but still a problem.
Right, and this is where the guide's lead qualifier prototype comes in.
As a business, spending 45 minutes on a discovery call, only to realize the prospect doesn't have the budget, is incredibly draining.
It really is.
So instead of a static contact form that just emails you a name and a message, you built an interactive qualifier.
Yeah.
It asks the necessary questions about business size and urgency. But because Gemini's intelligence is baked into the processing layer, the AI reads the responses, summarizes the prospect's situation against your ideal customer profile, and makes a routing decision.
Oh, that's brilliant. So high-score leads are automatically shown a calendar booking link, while low-score leads are gracefully directed to a self-serve educational resource or a waiting list.
Exactly. You are automating the triage process.
Which brings us to the final piece of the life cycle, the customer support assistant. This is designed to reclaim the administrative time spent answering the same 10 questions every week about pricing, locations, or onboarding steps.
Now, the mechanism here requires strict guardrails. You don't just unleash a completely open-ended LLM onto your customers because that invites hallucinations.
Oh, for sure. You don't want the AI making up a refund policy.
Right. So you program the support assistant in AI Studio to strictly retrieve answers from your approved business documentation. You define the context window so it only references the files you provide. And you program hard logic that forces the assistant to gracefully hand the conversation over to a human contact if the user's question falls outside that authorized information.
Okay, so these four examples, the campaign planner, the content generator, the lead qualifier, and the support assistant, they're brilliant for standardizing front-end inputs and outputs.
They are.
But real business operations require plumbing. Like, to be truly useful, these tools need to talk to the rest of your tech stack. And the source material emphasizes that Google AI Studio separates itself by supporting full-stack workflows.
Because a prototype that only exists in a vacuum has limited operational value. AI Studio supports the server-side infrastructure required to connect these tools to your existing systems.
What kind of infrastructure are we talking about?
We're talking about utilizing Node.js runtimes, pulling in external NPM packages to execute specific tasks, and managing complex database integrations.
Stuff like Firebase, Google Workspace, and deploying to Cloud Run.
Exactly.
And crucially, it handles secure secrets management. I mean, upgrading to these full-stack integrations isn't just about moving data. It's like giving your AI a secure company keycard.
I love that analogy.
Thanks. It can walk into your private database, retrieve a specific client file, process it, and walk back out without ever exposing those internal API keys or database credentials to the public-facing front-end code.
And that secure handling is what allows you to build a custom reporting tool that securely pulls live data from Firebase, processes it through Gemini for analysis, and pushes an executive summary into a Google Workspace document.
Wow.
Or, taking our earlier example, your lead qualifier doesn't just show a score on the screen. It securely executes an API call to push that qualified lead's data directly into your CRM platform.
So moving from a simple vibe-coded prototype to these advanced integrations is like upgrading from a cardboard lemonade stand to a fully automated drive-through connected to your supply chain.
Yes. You are testing tools that operate securely within your actual daily infrastructure. That drastically reduces the risk of building the wrong thing because you verify that the app communicates properly with your CRM before you ever pay a development agency to build a polished, final version.
But deploying tools with this level of access requires a serious reality check regarding strategy and security.
It really does. The source material is unequivocal about what AI Studio should not be used for without professional architectural support.
Right.
If your application involves handling highly sensitive customer data, processing live financial payments, dealing with protected health information, or managing legal records, you cannot rely on a rapid prototype.
Yeah, that's playing with fire.
Exactly. Speed in development must never replace rigorous security testing, compliance audits, and proper data encryption protocols.
But beyond the technical security risks, the guide highlights a much more insidious strategic danger for businesses, which it calls the automation of confusion.
Oh, that is a brilliant phrase. It describes the physical manifestation of throwing advanced technology at a fundamentally broken process.
Right, because automation just accelerates whatever logic it is given.
Exactly. If your core pricing model is so convoluted that your own human sales team struggles to explain it, programming an AI tool to handle those inquiries doesn't fix the friction. It just overwhelms the prospect faster.
So if your onboarding process requires a client to submit information across 4 disjointed emails, building an AI that rapidly fires off those requests doesn't make the process better. It just automates the chaos.
That's exactly it. You cannot use an LLM to paper over a lack of fundamental business clarity. You have to fix the core strategy and the logic gates of your business first.
Which brings up an interesting dynamic regarding the marketing agencies and strategists who typically map out those logic dates.
Oh, absolutely.
The guide mentions that agencies are using AI Studio as a show-don't-tell mechanism, presenting clients with working prototypes of better processes instead of just slide decks.
It's a huge shift for them.
So, what does this all mean? If these builder environments make it so unbelievably easy for a small business owner to generate their own internal software and workflow systems, doesn't this essentially put traditional marketing agencies and strategists out of a job? Like,
Right.
if I can outline a campaign planner and have it functioning in an hour, why do I need to hire an agency?
This raises an important question, and it represents an existential pivot for the consulting industry.
Yeah.
The answer is that it does not replace them. It forces their evolution. AI tools are incredible at generating code and executing structure, but they possess zero business intuition.
That makes
They
sense.
do not understand market positioning, they do not possess creative taste, and they do not have a deep psychological understanding of why your specific customer decides to buy.
The AI only builds the logic you instruct it to build. If you command it to build an incredibly efficient system for the wrong target audience, it will happily and flawlessly execute that failure.
Exactly. A high-level agency or strategist shifts from being a manual executor of tasks to being an architect of systems.
Okay, I see.
They look at your entire customer journey, analyze the data, and identify the specific friction points. They are the ones who determine that your leads are dropping off between the discovery call and the proposal phase, and they design the specific AI-assisted tool required to bridge that exact gap.
Right. So the technology is just the hammer, the value lies entirely in knowing where to strike.
Precisely. The goal isn't to accumulate shiny new AI applications just to say your business is automated. The goal is to build highly specific, highly strategic systems that capture, qualify, and convert customers more effectively than your previous manual processes.
And Google AI Studio and the ability to build with natural language really democratizes that system creation. Businesses of all sizes now have the power to bypass the initial wall of massive development costs.
It's incredible. You can rapidly prototype a solution, test it internally against your actual operational bottlenecks, and iterate on the logic at a fraction of the traditional cost and time.
It is a complete paradigm shift in how we approach problem solving. We've moved from identifying a bottleneck and sighing because the custom software to fix it is too expensive, to basically opening up a builder environment and deploying a working test version that same afternoon.
Yeah, the barrier to entry for custom operational tools has been permanently lowered.
Absolutely. Well, that wraps up our deep dive into building custom business tools. It's wild to think about what you can spin up before lunchtime now.
But as that barrier drops to near zero, it forces a larger realization. We are entering an era where perfectly customized AI workflow tools are universally accessible. Soon, every single one of your competitors will have the exact same ability to instantly build frictionless lead qualifiers, automated content generators, and seamless support assistance.
Right, and when everyone in your industry has the exact same frictionless technology, the technology itself ceases to be the competitive advantage.
Exactly. The ultimate advantage will no longer be about who have the most efficient internal software or the fastest automated triage. When the mechanics of the workflow are perfectly democratized, pure human empathy becomes the only remaining moat. The business that wins will be the one that possesses the deepest, most nuanced understanding of the human customer journey they're trying to automate. The AI can instantly pave the road, but you still have to know exactly where your customer actually wants to go.